as an airport sometimes. Okay, you go to an airport. The first assumption you make is that everybody here is traveling. We're all traveling. Wrong assumption. Not everybody there is traveling. And then when you get to an airport, you see flights, pew, 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 different directions, different destinations taking off. It's like a marketplace. What's the what's one of the first unconscious things you want to do when you get to the airport? You've got your tickets and everything. You want to begin to identify people that you believe are having the same ticket with you, on the same flight with you. You want to see where are they sitting down. You want to at least identify one or two people that are on the same flight with you. Why? Just in case you miss something, maybe an announcement that you don't hear, you put your eye on the one that you believe is traveling the same flight with you, and then he now acts serves as a guide, as an unconscious guide, a mental guide. If that person is getting up to move, you ask them, why is he moving? Have they called the flight? Why? Because he's on the same journey with you. See, it's the same thing with life. So imagine that you had an eye or you're gisting with somebody that is not on the same flight with you. He will sit you down and be seriously gisting your time away. And innocently so, because to him, his flight is by 4, yours is by 2. His flight is going to Dubai, yours is going to Australia. You're now associated with someone on the wrong trip. The chances of losing your flight is very high. So, understanding your destination determines how you travel. Again, another example of that is this. When you understand your destination, it determines how you travel. When you know that, okay, I'm going to Dubai, how you travel to, because of your understanding of Dubai, the destination, it determines what you pack. Now, you know that Dubai is dry. You know that Dubai is deserty. You know that Dubai is Islamic. You're not going to carry your biggest winter jacket in your bag to Dubai, are you? You're not going to pack unnecessary baggage that is not functional in the destination that you are traveling to. But you see, brother, ladies, unfortunately, what we call life, we're constantly carrying baggage that has no use in our destination. So,
Hey.
so understand that these questions I'm asking, uh, uh, they're fundamental. They're fundamental. That's why it's not, don't go with crowd mentality. Don't follow the crowd. Try as much as possible not to follow the crowd. Because following the crowd is really just going to the airport and jumping on any plane and thinking that all planes are flying. So anyhow, I'll get to my destination. I'm sorry for you. It's plane now. We're not all flying. It's a plane at all. So what those who don't even see plane and watch football? Ah, you're a guy from Nigeria. You don't even work. You don't even support in alignment with my assignment, my friend. Don't you understand? It has nothing to do with my destiny. And I want to now put daily time to it. Then I'm don't get me wrong. I love entertainment. I have the things that entertain me. For example, I'm a movie person. I love to watch movies. And even in the movies I watch, I still streamline them. Movie has some spiritual elements to it. I'm going for it because I might catch something there. So that way I'm learning and entertaining myself at the same time. But I don't do things because the whole world is doing it. In fact, anything I see the whole world doing, I want to run away from it. My first instinct is to go the other way. I don't like crowd mentality. First of all, differentiating factor, opposite. Don't be afraid. Don't, fortunately, it will come with a price. Some price will be higher than others, but I guarantee you, don't be. And what will give you, again, keep Bashada, what gives you the confidence to move away from the crowd is your purpose, is your calling, is when you understand that what you carry is only you that carries it. What you carry has its own guiding principles. What you carry, you are the leader of what you carry. Everybody else is supposed to follow you. Because we're in age of massive, massive distraction. It's called the information age, whereby human is so crazy now that human attention span is on the internet, it's now 3 seconds. 3 seconds. Marketing agencies now, the best marketing agencies online for digital ads have to be able to capture your attention in 3 seconds. This is scientifically proven. In 3 seconds, or else you scroll past. That's because your mind is has been so our mind has been so locked into scrolling and too much information, too much variety from one. There's billions of content for us at the same time. That your mind and the brain is such an adaptive organ. It has adapted itself to reduce its timing of what's the word I used earlier? What did I say was 3 seconds? What did I say was 3 seconds? Somebody help me.
Attention.
Attention span.
Attention span.
Yeah, that's what I was like to reduce its attention span to be able to filter information and catch it. Now, these are things that are happening unconsciously, which is why we must be intentional about separating ourselves. Because it's all part of the bigger plan of the enemy of repurposing us. But again, what can help you stand alone is the confidence you have in your calling, the clarity you have in your purpose, understanding that you are here for a reason, you're here for an assignment, and you have a limited time to perform that calling. Some of you have a desire. Some of you have a desire to, I don't know, what if it's just cooking? Now, another thing with purpose is this. Purpose different shapes and sizes. And a lot of time people confuse potential for purpose. And I understand that. And that's why I said earlier that purpose doesn't stand alone. It's not a vacuum. It's always wrapped around potential and so potential is your gift. Your gift is not your purpose. Your potential is the toolbox, is the gift, is the skill, that natural ability that comes to you easily. That is the tool you have been given to carry out the assignment. Your potential is what you have been given. Your purpose is why you have been. Does that make sense? Your potential, you have been given a gun. That's your potential. You have a good gun. Your purpose is who am I to kill with this gun? That's your purpose. You've been given the ability to speak. The question is, speak about what I had a gift is something in speaking. I knew talking, going on stage and speaking to crowds came very natural for me at a very early age. And that's why the first profession I ever had in life was teaching. Started teaching from when I was 16. I'm 43 now. And I'm grateful to God's grace in my own life because even from a young just was fascinated about the concept of purpose. Always knew that I didn't like crowd mentality. I wanted to do, I was, I can't just I always questioned everything. Like, okay, why are we doing this? Why do we do things like this? And early I realized people just function on crowd mentality, you know. I always ask questions, even in church, why, I mean, for example, I grew up as Catholic and I was asked, okay, why is the priest holding that smoke? Why is he doing that? I was that kind of child. Why is he doing that? Oh, my friend, shut up. That's always done it like that. So, a older, I became a bit more rebellious. Like if you can't give me an answer to why making me, I'm going to walk away from it. Simple. Because what you're just telling me is that you also don't know what you're doing. I'm going to walk away from that. And I started doing that in a lot of things in my life. And some of the major decisions I made, growing up that started separating me were rebellious decisions because I started stopping like, oh, you have to be here, you have to take a job in here, you have to work like this. Earlier in my career, even up to today, I worked for more than 25 years professionally, and the longest I've worked in a place in my whole life is 3 years. Because earlier in my career, I would just after 1 year, I'm leaving. Boom, I'm out of here. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. I just wasn't convinced, so I was just working. My dad used to be a career banker and everything, and their generation were the generation that stayed in the job for 30 years, for 35 years, and that was their legacy. I was there 35, and I'm looking at you like, what? Now, again, don't get me wrong, there's a place for that. Okay? There's a place for that. But me, how I am wired, I can't even begin to phantom that. I can't begin to phantom that. Why would you stay in one spot for 35 years? That's definitely, that can't be in alignment with God's plan. I'm not saying don't do the same thing for 10 years, don't get me wrong. But because of my understanding of purpose, which I'll talk about, one of the characteristics of purpose is that purpose evolves. Your purpose must evolve. God is not a stagnant God. And let me show you a classic example in nature. Everything in nature also evolves. If you don't evolve, you will die. Everything in nature. See, death is the end of evolution. What we call death in its natural state is the end of evolution. Death is what checkmates evolution. A tree must evolve from the function of a seed. You and I physically have evolved over the years. Once upon a time, you were something that was irrecognizable in the womb. So once upon a time, you were not even in the womb. Once upon a time, you were a seed. You were literally liquid. You and I, yes. We forget that. Or we don't tie that to our current identity. No, no, come on. I've always been human. I've always had flesh, always had bone. No. You evolved into what you are now. This beautiful face you have today is a product of evolution. You evolved into a toddler. You evolved into a teenager. You evolved into a young adult. You evolved and you now that's biologically speaking, just physically speaking now. No one talks, otherwise, physically speaking. Hiya. Sorry, it's just my daughter. You want to get what? Want to say goodnight? Yeah, come say goodnight. I'm saying hello to everybody who can see you. We came to say goodnight.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, that's Isabel. That's my first daughter.
Good night, Miss
Yeah.
Brady.
No, I still need. Yeah, you can have a pencil. Yeah, but it just doesn't me. Okay, now I have to come and say goodnight as well. And the principle of evolution is that for every phase, your evolution requires different purpose, has a different purpose. When a child is crawling, the expectation and the purpose of that child is totally different. Now, every phase, every evolution has a phase and a time and a season. It's acceptable for that child to crawl for the first 12 months, 13 months, 14 months for some child, some 15 months. When that child gets to 2 years and is still crawling, you start looking on what's going on here. No, but so the question is, why are we questioning that child? It's because we understand that there's a required evolution. We understand that purpose has a time and a season. We understand that in this season, this child is supposed to be walking now. See, it's the same thing with our lives. It's the same thing with our assignments. The thing that you carry, yes, you are called to teenagers, for example. There's a certain season that what is required for you in that with those teenagers is, going from church to church and maybe preaching to them and just being very, very organic in connection and giving them clarity. In a season, that is all your assignment requires because that's the capacity you have. And the thing about purpose is that you will never know the next layer until you exhaust the current layer. God will never give you the keys to the next layer. If you're on assignment, until you exhaust your current season, God will not give you the opening. In fact, the key, the principle to your next layer of your next evolution of your purpose is your exhaustion, your obedience. Let me use the word obedience. Your obedience to the current state of assignment that He has given you. Which is why I always talk with the sense of urgency. I say, see, if you have something in your spirit, act on it now. Act on it now because the longer you delay the now, the longer you are extending your evolution. Meaning that if you have 12 phases of evolution that God has planned in your assignment, because you took 20 years in stage one, you might end up only just doing three. You might end up doing three phases of that evolution. God had called you, in your 12th stage, you were a billionaire. But in 12, you were still struggling with thousands in stage two. So purpose evolves, definitely. Okay. I'll quickly run through a summarized answer to the questions I've been asking, just to also give us context. The first question of identity, purpose, is like I said, who are you? What's the highest definition of yourself? Is the highest definition of yourself your title? Is it yours? Is it what you do? If we that's what you're looking for. Who you are, highest definition all of you in this room today is that you're a spirit being, temporary human experience. That is who you are. Will bust. Say it again. Spirit being, your highest definition, your highest identity, your highest frequency, the biggest thing that you are is that you're a spirit being. The star does not represent the core of your identity. You're still on the long thing. Because understand that What you see in now, what we call flesh, is the same equivalent to the shirt I'm wearing. Your body is the same equivalent as this shirt. You wore it at birth. You will take it off at death, but you remain. What you call your body, you wore it at birth, and then you will take it off at death. That's why you leave it behind. That's why and it becomes so useless, unfortunately. It becomes so irrelevant, so bad that we have to bury it 6 feet deep. Oh, you think it's out of respect we bury dead bodies down that low? It's so that we don't smell the decay. So we don't smell the decay. When you're done with when you're done with a container, when you drink, have you drink your Coke or 7 Up, what do you do with the container? You what? You discard it. What you see, what you walk around with is a container that will be discarded. And I hate to be the bearer of quote unquote bad news. You will be discarded soon. You and I, all of us. My dad was discarded a few months ago. Let me even go talking about the connection of death and purpose. I did a masterclass on it a few months ago. So when you understand that you will be discarded, so you're in line. We don't have forever. If you are in your 40s and above, your sense of urgency should be on a different gear. Your sense of urgency, you should not live life like any other person. You should embody these 12 pillars and pursue it with everything that you have. This is not the time to please anybody. This is not the time to want to be somebody else. If anything is not adding to the positivity of your assignment in your life, let it go. Whether it's a human being, whether it's a dog, a cat, or a donkey. Some of us are tied in jobs. Some of us are tied in relationship. That is obviously sucking away the essence of what we carry. But because of community, because of religion, because of society, oh no, you want to keep face. Please, those are not the people that sent you. Keep face for the one that sent you. Keep face for the one that when you take these clothes off, this off, you will see him. I tell people, I say, when we die, the first person we will see, this is just a personal belief I have. You don't have to agree with me. When we die, and I've done tremendous research on this. I study beef. Some people don't even know there's a concept of before life. Who we born in 3 stages. There was a, there's a after now. Believe me or not, but these 3 versions of you exist now. When you die, when you take this off, the first person you will see is yourself. The person you will see is yourself. Your true version, your original vision, your true identity, the one I'm talking to right now. The one that is the answer to the question I'm asking of who are you, which is why when I say that you are a spiritual, I'm saying that that is the essence of you. That is you. You are not your flesh. You are not black. You are not white. You are not woman. You are not male. You are spirits. You are God's essence. He said, I made them in my own image. That's the gospel for another day. That is who you are. When I go, the way I introduce myself in a lot of places, sometimes of course, I read the room, can you tell us who you are? Sometimes if I just want to cause problem, I'll just give them this definition. Who are you? Can you say I'm a spirit being? Yeah, what was this man saying? But sometimes I do it intentionally. That is who you are. Okay? You're a spirit, you have a human experience. Where are you from? What is your source? You are from the spirits. You are from the Father of spirits. You are sourced from God, from Himself. You are an extension of Him. He has the ability to extend Himself. The reason why nobody is like you is because every expression of ness. He is so versatile that even if and he's constantly looking for different ways to express himself. One of the reasons he created us. That's why even if there are 10,000, if there are 10 billion more people on this earth, they will still all be different because they will all carry a different variety of God because we are from Him. Who are you? You're a spirit having a human experience. Temporary human experience. Understand this. Your experience, your human experience is very temporary. You understand that the concept of time in itself, is a created thing. Time is a created thing. I always tell people time is an illusion. Do you know that you've had the concept of as fast as the speed of light? Do you know that when something moves at the speed of light, time stops? If you can move something as fast as the speed of light, let's not get into physics. So understand that time is a capsule that you are functioning in. It's a small thing that you are in. When you take this off, you come out of time and you begin to now function properly. But the thing is, what you do while in time. This is the part this is the scary part. What you do while in time, how you function when you get out of time. So please don't play with the time that you have. It's the most precious gift that you have. Time is an interruption of eternity. It's like a bump in the road in eternity. You're a spirit being having a temporary human experience. Where are you from? You are from the source of spirits. What can you do? Question of potential. See, I can do all things. I'm permitted. You will say it's permitted to do all things. Both. So the question of what can you do? You can actually do anything. You can do all things because you have an unlimited spirit. The but here is that you can do everything in relation, in context, in the direction of your assignment, of your purpose. Question 4, why are you here? To fulfill thy kingdom come. We are ambassadors of the kingdom. We are here as an outstretched arm of the manufacturer. See, a product, a product product of the intelligence of the manufacturer. A product is the greatest representation of the intelligence of the manufacturer. Now, this manufacturer has manufactured a lot of things. He now said of all the things he made, the galaxies things that we ourselves will look at and will be in awe. He said in all of those things, we are they're called macro and micro purpose. Macro and micro purpose. So my first degree is in economics, so sometimes I use economic terms. Macro is big, micro is small. Macro purpose was given to us in Genesis, in the garden. What did he say to Adam? Be fruitful, dominate. Go, be fruitful, dominate. Now, that is the macro purpose that he put in all of us. Be fruitful. To be fruitful is an indication of what? Seed. Because you can't ask something to be fruitful that doesn't have a seed in it. But you're asking it, it's like you're asking for something you didn't give it. Now, fruitful and dominate. So be fruitful, multiply, and dominate. Fruitful, multiply, and dominate. That's the macro purpose. So if anybody asks you, for example, what's my purpose? What's it? Your purpose is to be fruitful, multiply, and dominate. Simple. Means there's a seed. Multiplication. So you become fruitful from the seed. Don't forget the seed is your potential. Okay, the seed is your potential. So you say be fruitful. Now, fruitfulness is the identifying of your purpose and the use of your purpose. Multiply it, not multiply that fruit. The multiplication of your fruit will naturally lead into dominance in your space. Be fruitful, multiply, and dominate. That's your macro purpose. Now, our macro is how does Solange become fruitful and multiply? It's different from how Lady Love become fruitful. Her own way of becoming fruitful is her micro purpose to achieve the macro purpose. So the macro purpose is a big puzzle. My kids play puzzle a lot. They have 1,000 pieces. Every piece represents a different part of the picture. No two pieces serve the same purpose, but they're all working for what? One purpose. Do you understand? It's important that we see purpose from the perspective of God, not just God has this picture. He now has parts of the puzzle. That's you and I. Your purpose is to carry your piece of the puzzle, position it where it is designed to be so that the picture can sit in the frame. Here. Your destination, which is right end of here, is to be empty. Emptiness to be your destiny. Emptiness. You should be able to come to a phase in your life where, like Peter said, oh, what a privilege to be able to make that kind of statement. I have been poured out like an offering. Have you been poured out? Do you feel you are pouring out in the thing you are doing now? That's desire, passion that you have. Are you pouring out? Why are you being casual about it? Why are you being too careful about it? You're being too security conscious about it. I have fought the good fight. Thank you, Lady Love. And trust me, it is a fight. It's going to be a fight. Unless you're walking in, the enemy will come for you in different ways. Trust me, I can tell you. Your desire is to be empty, to be poured out. So you can so you can die comfortably. So you can die in glory, die in peace, whereby you are so excited about the afterlife. People fear death so much because of purposelessness. They say the more I posted something today, and he was saying the more insignificant you feel your life is, the longer you want your life to be. Because you want it to be long so you can chase the significance that you're looking for, the purposelessness. Like they say, like Morel will always say, death is not the opposite of life. Death is a natural evolution of life because it's not selective. If it happened to good people or bad people or black people or white people, then you can say it's a consequence. Death is not a consequence of anything. We all die, we will all die. Regardless of what you do, you will die. So that is not the consequence, it's not a negative thing. So death cannot be the opposite of life. The opposite of life is purposelessness. Because when you don't know why you are alive, that's the real death. Because purpose is what bets life. Let me just jump very. I'll try and get purpose as fast as I can. 7 major principles of purpose. I've spoken in the course of my conversation earlier, I touched on some of them. The first principle of purpose is that purpose precedes creation. I said again, purpose precedes creation. What does that mean? It means, let's simplify this. The purpose of anything is completed, concluded, and finished. It's not saying it's my idea or your idea. This is not, I understand what principles are. The concept, when they say something is a principle, you can't function, that's just, it's a law. Before this pen was made, the company that made this pen had to have concluded, decided that they wanted to make something that will write. They will have concluded about before the production of this pen began, because it is purpose that bets anything to purpose. That man created that has no function. I'm seeing frozen screen. Can anybody confirm if they can hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Sorry. Show his sign said my internet wasn't stable. See, if we establish that purpose precedes creation, and that is a principle, meaning that you and I, our purpose, our assignment, our reason for being was concluded before we came. And God gave us that expo. He said, before you were born, I knew you. Before you came here, I knew you. And that story for another day. I don't want to go into that direction. So purpose precedes creation. So understand that these principles I'm going to be discussing with you is to give you confidence of your purpose, knowing that it was concluded before you even started. And if it was concluded before you started, it means the things that you require for it has also been concluded before you come. So you actually don't have a need, though. In this true sense of the word, we don't have a need. The problem is that because we are not aligned and submitted to our assignment, we lack the tools, the resources, the abundance, the fulfillment, the health, the relationship, the connections that comes with our assignment. The second principle of purpose is that it's about design. Purpose determines the purpose of a thing determines the design of that thing. I say it again. The purpose of a thing determines the design of that thing. water bottle. Okay? How is this bottle designed? This is designed for you to be able to drink from it. It's designed to hold water. So because of the purpose of it is for you to be able to drink from it, that influenced this design. Let me give you a practical example. The house, your house is a building. The school is a building. Church is a building. Court is a building. Police station is a building. The stadium is a building. Correct? These are all buildings. What determines the difference in design between a church and a school? Somebody help me.
Design.
No, what determines the difference in design?
Purpose.
Thank you.
What they're being used for. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, 2 is a vehicle. Your 18-wheeler is a vehicle. That Ferrari is a vehicle. Your sedan is different kinds of vehicles. What determines the difference in design between an 18-wheeler, a truck, and your Lamborghini? It's the purpose. The purpose I can go on and on. And you can think of. Jacket is because of the purpose it was designed to fulfill, protect you from cold. But why am I saying this? I'm bringing this back to you. I'm saying this to establish the principle so that when I tell you that your ears, your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your neck, your skin, your thought process, your emotional frequency, all that is your design. The way you think, your perspective is your design. The way you function, your talk, your work is your design. That's your design. That your design was determined by your purpose. Your design is connected to your purpose. Your design is part of the potential for your purpose. Because your purpose is what determined and bettered your design. Is this making sense? So purpose determines design. And why is that important? Work, meaning that however you think you are, however you think you feel or look, however you think you sound, however you think you are built, my dear, you are custom made for your purpose. You are specially designed. That is why no matter how eloquent I speak, some people will never listen to me because I am just not suited for their design. Somebody else will come and just talk left, right, center, and they will be taking. Why? They are connected to that design. What has connected them to the design of those people? That is why it's important to be confident in your design. Be proud of your design. How you look, how you feel, how you talk, how you process is your design. It's not an accident. You are not born in Cameroon accidentally. You're not black accidentally. You're not African accidentally. Nobody did it. Nobody did you something from your village. It was on design because design is connected to purpose. Third principle, your purpose is determined, the purpose of anything is determined by the manufacturer of that thing and not the thing itself. The purpose of anything is determined. Your phone didn't decide to be a phone. Your phone didn't wake up one day and say, you know what? I'm gonna be a phone. No. Somebody somewhere decided to make it and give it a purpose. Why is that principle important? It's important because it's not your government that determines your purpose. It's not your pastor that determines your purpose. It's not I that determines your purpose. It is whoever you believe or agree is your maker. Because I speak to people across different spectrums, and some don't believe in God. I say, okay, beautiful, but you believe in this principle. See, oh, God is not. When you get them, this because this is another way to preach. This is my own gospel. This is how I preach. Okay, I will never go onto the pulpit and tell you John 3:16 and all that kind of stuff. That's not my gift. My own gift is to use purpose and the principles of purpose to show God's glory. When you meet an atheist, you don't start talking to them about God and talk to them about principles. Get them to agree to principles because no right thinking person can debate these principles. Let's go. I'll give you 1,000 examples. So if you agree with me that the purpose of anything precedes the production of it, oh, do you agree that the design of anything is determined by the purpose of it? Oh, right. Do you also agree that the purpose of anything has to be determined by the manufacturer, not the thing itself? Oh, yes, I agree. You just be pulling them based on principles. Then you tie it back to God. That way they will not have clarity. Apart from the ones that are demonic possessed, that the demon in them will not agree. So purpose is determined by the manufacturer, purpose precedes creation, purpose determines design, purpose gives, what's another principle? Purpose gives. Let me break out. Let's see, everything in nature. The sun gives, the moon gives, the ocean gives its water, trees give their fruits. Literally, the oxygen you and I are breathing right now comes from plants. They give us oxygen. Animals were created to give us food. The end, the most important thing of anything that God created in nature, its internal purpose is to give its essence. Nothing that was created for itself. Say that again. Nothing that was created for itself. The tree does not eat its own fruit. The river does not drink its own water. The sun does not need its own heat. That's nature. Now, even think of this principle from what man has done. Nothing that man has made was made for the thing itself. Everything that was made to give its essence. A house was not built for a house. A house is built to give you shelter. A car is not built for a car. A car is built to give you transportation. Not built because they are built to give you covering. You get the message? The real message here is that you are not built for yourself. You are not created for yourself. Your design, you and your purpose is not for you. The mistake some people make with purpose is that they're trying to, what can I get? If you ask yourself the question of what can I get, you're not talking purpose, you're talking selfishness. You ask yourself, what can I give? The moment you ask, what can I give, you're opening up yourself into the journey. Your purpose is for others. You love, yeah. Again, these are principles. You understand what I'm saying? These are principles. And in all humility, I guarantee you, you will not hear this anywhere. Can I shock you? Everything I've been teaching you, telling you about today, you can't read it in any book. Because I didn't read it in any book. I'm serious. And that's why I'm now. But these are deep principles. All right. Purpose gives. The other thing is purpose, and I mentioned this earlier, purpose evolves. I think I've already touched on that. I've talked about the evolutionary nature of purpose. Okay. The other thing I will add to that is, see, and even when I work with clients, I've seen this happen a lot of times. They are functioning in their essence, in their assignment, yes. They now come to a ceiling where they are stuck. Like, okay, what's next? I feel like I've exhausted myself. I'm not sure what the next phase is. Not that they're not sure, they have an idea of something new, something different, but they are afraid because they feel like it's not connected to what they are doing now, not understanding that that is the signal God is giving them of the new phase, the evolution. But because they have not been taught that purpose evolves and they don't have the guidance to make the connection, they now stay there, which is where, and I hate to say this all the time because it sounds like advertising, which is where coaching comes in. I'm telling you, at any point in time, see, having a coach in your life in this day and age is one of these most essential things to have. The right coach, oh, I'm telling you, it's one of the most essential things to have. However you want to do it, please find a way to have it. And that's why I'm grateful to all of you that are in this community because you're already on the right track. You're already on the right track. You have old Coach Delphine here guiding you. I'm sure you are all also principals and leaders in your own state, because I know that what's happening here is that we are all leaders building leadership to be able to carry others along. But I'm telling you, always be in the right circle. That's why I talked about destination and traveling with the right people that are traveling in your own direction, because they'll be able to help you see things. We can't always see things because we're in the culture of our own loop times. We need an external bird eye view to look into us sometimes. It's so easy to also submit ourselves to doctors, submit ourselves to lawyers, but when it comes to the question of our essence and our purpose, we feel, oh, we have it all figured out. No way, I will find my way anyhow. No, we all need help. If I tell you the amount of coaching I go through, the amount of content I consume to learn such and to better myself, it's a lot. I'm telling you, it's a lot. But you have to be super intentional about it. You have to make a decision that, listen, this is my life, this is my essence. I have to pursue this with everything I have. I know what working in in this my story. I walked out of jobs like it's practically almost cost me my marriage. But it comes to a point where you must decide what is the most important thing to you. Even your family, I'm telling you, and I know I'm going to be the extreme now, but even your family, marriage, for example, the concept of marriage is wrapped in purpose. It's wrapped in purpose. If your marriage is not supporting your purpose, then that is not by God. You are being repurposed. You're being repurposed. Because look at the original intention. Now let's go back to original intention. At what point did God introduce what we now call marriage? At what point? He didn't introduce it at the point of creation. No. In fact, the Bible doesn't even tell us how long Adam stayed alone. We don't know if it was 1,000 or 10,000 years. We don't know. Bible story, we think, oh, he just started for 2 days and then Eve came. No. It came at a point when the man was functioning in his essence and his purpose. Thank you, Lady Love. It came at a point where the man was already functioning in his essence. And God said he needed what? A helper. Helper for what? To cook for him? No. Helper on the assignment. Help on the assignment. That is why whether you like it or not, every female is drawn to leadership. Females are naturally drawn to leadership because built in every female is the capacity to amplify support for leadership. In that, they are also bettered. The problem is that the women are thinking that the definition of leadership is being in front. No. No. Every relationship should be purpose-driven. I'm not saying, of course, don't have, fun friends and things around, but that should not represent a major part. All right? So I've talked about the evolution of purpose. It precedes creation and design. I remember the last two in my head. Purpose has times and seasons. This is where the sense of urgency comes. And I see in the manual we call Bible, he clearly stated it there. For everything under the sun, I'm paraphrasing, there's a purpose. And for every purpose, there's a time and there's a season. And even if, like, in example, there's a time to plant a seed. There's a season designed for planting. The atmosphere, the weather, the temperature, everything. There's a season for harvest. There's a seed time and harvest for everything. There's a time to be born. There's a time to die. You can't do if you do the right thing in the wrong season, which is why I'm saying urgency, which is why if at any point in time you're feeling something heavy in your heart, act on it. Act on it. Act in fear, act in carelessness, act uncompleted action. Any kind of action is always better than inaction. I don't care if it's wrong action. Let it be a stupid action. Let it be a failed action is better 1,000 times than inaction. When you're coming of execution. Because for action you take, there's a lesson. A lesson of either how to make it, to repeat it and get it better, or a lesson of how not to do that again. I think let me see if I remember the last one. I'll come back to it. Okay. So I trust me, there's still so much I can keep spilling if you leave me. Okay. So I'm gonna pause here and just open the microphone for us to ask questions, anything, and I mean anything at all, just ask. Let's take a few minutes to have conversations about anything at all, okay? If I can answer, I can. If I can't, I'll tell you I can't. And I just hope also I've been able to stay your spirits.
Ladies, time for questions. Wow. Coach, that was, hey, that was purpose bombardment. Purpose has bombarded us today. Questions, so ladies, you're so full that you can ask questions.
Even if it's just a comment, observe anything you want. Let's talk together. Let's just talk. Let's just talk.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Our mommy told us that today was going to be different. She did not keep that away from us. She encouraged us to come in our numbers. She encouraged us in every way possible, and we responded to that encouragement. And we're not disappointed. Thank you so much. was to there for me. In fact, a lot. The whole I'm just overloaded. I'll take some time to digest. It will be some time before everything that has come out of you settles in me, because it's so much. It's overloaded. But I just want to share this particular one that I talk about every time and everywhere I go, because it was my panacea. When I discovered, I didn't know I was jealous. I did not know envious. I did not know I was competitive until I discovered what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was totally different from what every other person is doing. I saw it in its original shape and form. I saw, at least, I can't say size yet, but I saw what I saw. And that gave me the confidence that has carried me for years today. And I saw it at a time when I was so broken. There was So I want to thank you so much. That's what stood out for me. I could go on and on and on, but I'm sure there's so many people wanting to share. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Just to add a bit of flesh to that, I did something. I'm also writing a book about it. 10 things that purpose will do for you. There's a lot it will do, but 10 things. Don't forget, again, like I said, your message is your gospel. So you also have to have ways to use that message as a gospel that will attract people. So when you say 10 things that purpose will do for them, they want to say, okay, what will purpose do for me? And you just mentioned one is the anarchy competition. I explained that. One of the things that purpose will do for you, it will reveal your innate brilliance. Okay, there's something called innate brilliance. I also tell people that intelligence is contextual. Intelligence is not a function of academics. It's not be who goes school pass. No, intelligence is a function of assignment. Okay, your intelligence is manifested on your assignment. So you think we are all intelligent. We are all super intelligent, but our intelligence is a function of when we assignment. That's when you show. Put me in some places, I'm an idiot in some things. I'm absolutely dumb in a lot of things. So we are not designed to know plenty things. We're designed to know one thing, your thing. Purpose will reveal innate intelligence. Some of the examples I give with innate intelligence, again, I always go back to nature. You see the way it's easy for fish to swim. Nobody taught them how to swim. You go and try and swim. You take classes for months. Look at how cheetahs can run. Look at how an eagle needs brilliance that can only function in their essence. You can't climb as fast and as well as a monkey. Nobody taught him. It's that's the way you will, when you're in your assignment, you will display some things that nobody taught you. It's just there. Purpose will affect your health. It will affect your health. You will not have anxiety. You will not have, there's just so much I can go deep into that. Purpose will influence your perspective. You will not be seeing the world from the perspective of the media, from the perspective that everybody wants you to see it. You will have your own perspective. Your lens will be your purpose. Purpose will be it's just like me. I can't see anything more than I see most things through the lens of purpose. So I don't get easily, and with that, you don't get easily swayed by propaganda, trend issues, because we don't understand that is when you're in public, you understand that 90% of what we call life, 90% of what you hear are all lies. Deep lies, generational lies that we live by as truths. So yes, I'm glad you caught that. Any other one, please? Let's go. Conversation time, question time. Because I know I've taken so much of your time today, so
Hello,
Yeah,
sir.
Coach. Yeah, Coach, this question that you
Sorry,
said,
who's
who
speaking,
are
please? Is
you?
that Cynthia
This
or
is
Lady
Lady
Love?
Love. Lady Love. Yes, this question, who are you? It's very deep, but I will just give an example of, let's just say for an example of a single lady, or let me just say an example of a lady in general, a woman in life. Because most women, when you ask them, who are you, when they are not married, they feel like the Mrs. in their name is what makes them. So that's why we ask a lot of married women, without the Mrs. in front of your name, who are you? So that is a question that, kind of, it throws a lot of people who don't understand who they are off. So because when you ask somebody, they think that maybe you are belittling marriage and stuff like that, but that is not the point, because that question is a question that actually is very deep. That question is very deep when they say, who are you? No, you are not Mrs. Somebody. Who are you? You were not born married. You came to this world like that. So you have to really know who you are. So when you ask that question, I had to sit and think again, because like so many people get confused. Who are you? I'm Mrs. This, I'm Mrs. That. No. No. So it's a question that kind of really, triggers someone to think deeper and think beyond. Because if not, you are going to be thinking that marriage is the fulfillment of purpose. Marriage is not the fulfillment of purpose. It's just, path of life that we take and to help. So that's a question that normally I've seen that when it's being asked, a lot of people get confused, especially when they don't know what they were created for or to do, or when they have not discovered their purpose. So that's just a little chipping that I
You're
wanted to
absolutely
add.
you're absolutely
Mhm.
right. And Lady Love, thank you so much for all your contributions during your presentation. I saw you kept I wasn't reading the
Mhm.
chat, but I kept seeing your name coming up. And you were
Mhm.
even reminding me of some things. So thank you so much for that. You really, really participated. I felt you all through. Thank you. And you're absolutely right. And that's why you see that's the number one question. It's actually the most important. Is the most important. Even if and again, I said it's not the answers to this question are not one-off. It's not something you ask yourself one side. You have to be reminding yourself every day. See, the answer to these questions are not this, the answers are not just answers, the answers are
Mhm.
weapons.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
The answers are weapons because why is this important? When the enemy comes, when obstacle comes, when delay
Mhm.
comes, when denial
Mhm.
comes, this is your response.
Yes.
This is your response. When somebody cheats on you, when somebody betrays you, you don't. When you find your spirit not go, you have to bring yourself back and ask yourself, why?
Mhm.
Ah, Coach Delphi knows now. I'm always asking her.
Every day.
Mhm.
I'm always asking her.
Mhm.
Is it because I've not asked her before? Is it because she doesn't know who she is? There's a reinforcement that comes with
Mhm.
it. And there's a way to use it as a tool and as a weapon, like I said. And I use this a lot in my life. Sometimes when I'm struggling, as we all do, we all have our down times, we all have our bad days. You have to also you have to practice the ability of raising yourself back up when you're down. Because see that down, you will follow. You will have days where you fall. You will have seasons where you fall. Practicing the ability of bringing yourself back up is very key in life if you want to succeed, especially as a leader, because there won't always be somebody there to carry you up. There won't always be somebody, not your wife, not your husband. There won't always be somebody. Your ability to carry yourself up is key. And what are the things that gives you that ability? Is the answer to these questions. It's the principles that you've embedded in your spirits. When you remind yourself who you are, it checks you up again. When you remind yourself that you are loved, when you remind yourself that you are custom made, when you remind yourself that what you carry is only you that carry it, and if you don't pursue it, nobody else will pursue it. When you remind yourself that you're a spirit being, You shake off anything that is holding you, get up and you continue. That's how to respond. That's how to use those answers. Yes. Right? Yes. I'm glad you caught that as
So,
well.
Cynthia asked your question or contribution.
So I wanted to ask a question that how can you really discover your purpose? Because I'm facing difficulties to discover my purpose on earth. So
I was waiting for somebody to ask that since I because you can never have a conversation about purpose and somebody will not ask how. Let's do something real quick. Hello, Cynthia. How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you.
How's your day been?
That's good.
Cynthia, I'm going to ask you 3 quick questions, okay?
Yes, sir.
I want everybody in the room to follow. I want everybody in the room to respond to the questions I'm going to ask Cynthia now. Please respond as if I'm asking you, okay? I'm just going to use Cynthia is going to be our model, okay? And I want you to please take the questions seriously. I want you to internalize the questions. Because usually when I do this on a one-on-one, before I ask these questions, I try to bring you to a state with some breathing exercise, everything towards your consciousness. The first question I want to ask you, a question about death. And I'm going to put a caption, like in Africa, I would say, God forbid. Okay, so quote unquote, God forbid. But I want to take this very seriously. For a minute, just imagine that Cynthia, today is today is the 2nd of October, okay, 2025. Cynthia, if you had, for some reason, you had only 1 year to live, if for some reason, again, I said, if for some reason, the 2nd of October, 2026, you will be sitting on your again, God forbid, you will live long. But if for some reason it's clear to you that you are going to die in 1 year, maybe from a disease, whatever, or Angel Gabriel came to you and say, you know what, good and faithful servant, my dear Cynthia, the Lord is missing you too much. He wants you to come home. My question is this: what will you do in that 1 year, knowing very clearly that you are going to die? What would you do for work? How would you live? What would you want to achieve in that 1 year? Sorry, Cynthia, I know I'm putting you on the spot now, but you have to try and answer us.
I will
Take your time, no rush.
I will try to put smile on people's faces by meeting them in their needs, if I'm able to.
What kind of needs can meet?
Like when somebody is sick, if I would like to be beside that person to encourage him or her. I would like to provide financially. I would like,
What
or
if you don't
always
have
like,
the money?
pardon,
What if you don't have the money?
I would like to be beside that person just to encourage a person.
Okay. So just to be clear, if you had 1 year to live, what you will do for work is try and bring smiles to people, encourage people, be supportive, provide, correct?
Yes, sir.
But you're not, but if I could also push you a little and say, okay, how? If I push it further and say, how do you think, based on the knowledge of yourself and your capacity, that there's a difference between what we wish we would do. Oh, I'd like to carry people abroad, but you can't do that in 1 year. You're not able to do that. Yeah, so do you want to add to that?
Yes, I know. I will.
How, if you didn't have any assistance, how would you? It's established that you want to provide smiles, you want to give things, you want to help people. How do you think you can do that?
If I don't have the means, I would like to encourage them through the word of God.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So let's give it that. So let's jump to just a second question. I have 3 questions for you.
At least preaching the word to them
Okay, I caught that.
in order to uplift their spirits, in order to know that this is what they're supposed to do. They are not alone. God is with them. That's what I would do.
Okay, beautiful. I get the point. Second question. This time you are not dying. Yay. This second question, this time you're going to live as long as you want. In fact, you're going to live long. You have the chance to live very long, but with some conditions. The conditions here is that.
I'm sorry, there was network problem.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me rephrase that question. If you could live long as long as you want, but the condition is this, you'll have to take a job without pay. If you could take a job without salary for the rest of your life, what will that job be? The only condition that job gives is that that job will give you expression and make the world see you like you want to be seen. If you could take a job without a salary for the rest of your life, what would that job be?
Okay. I would take a pastor job to
Beautiful.
preach the word.
I love that. Beautiful. Pastor job, very clear. Hot question. So and I hope everybody's following here because this is an exercise I'm doing. The first question was about death. The reason for that question is at death, the most important things to you comes to the surface. At the face of death, the most important things come to the surface. Picture someone in that. The second question is about passion. The thing you can do without pay, the thing you can do without looking for glory, the thing you can do without looking for compensation, the thing you can do that comes naturally to you, the thing you do that comes with ease with you. That's the principle of the question. The third question I'm going to ask is about impact and giving. And I'll tell you how these 3 questions connect. So the third question to you, Cynthia, is this. If we take you to the biggest stage in the world now, UN General Assembly, White House, Olympic, think of the biggest platform in the world. And they say, oh, Cynthia, thank you for coming. We have a lot of problems in the world. And, we heard about you. And based on your personality and everything you know about yourself, which problem can you help us solve in the world? We are ready to give you unlimited funding for anything, any amount, $100 billion, whatever it is. What problem would you help the world solve? Take your time. If you're not sure, just say you're not sure, okay?
Yes, I'm not sure of the question.
Oh, you're not sure of the question. If you could solve one problem in the world today, and you have all the money to solve that problem, what problem will you solve? Is that clear?
Yes, it's clear.
I know it's a massive question.
Clever, it's difficult to answer.
That is perfectly okay. That's perfectly okay. let's put a pause on that, okay? And I think when I respond to the 2 questions, you might be able to answer the third one. So, is it safe to say that if you had 1 year to live, you will help people with smiles, you will help provide for them, you will help them with their needs, you will preach the gospel with them, you want to make them feel good, you want to make them feel fulfilled, you want to make them feel the best version of themselves, correct? Good. And question 2 was, if you could take a job without a salary, you will become a pastor, correct?
Yes, sir.
So will I also be correct to say that if you were to solve a problem in the world with unlimited funds, that problem might still be around helping people, providing for people, and making them feel the best version of themselves? Will I be correct to say that?
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. So you'll pay me for that third question. I hope you answer.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm going to do something real quick. I want to phrase something. So is it safe to say, I'll try and, based on your response to these 3 questions, I'll carve out a purpose statement for you. And you tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 if that sounds or resonates with you. And together?
Yes, sir.
Cool. So I'm going to say, I'm just doing this off the dome. My name is Cynthia Loom. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Cynthia Loom. And today, as at today, the 2nd of October, 2025, my purpose in life is to use my personality, my experience, and my skills to bring smiles, support, comfort, and confidence to as much people as possible through my pastoral work and any other work I can do. On a scale of 1 to 10, how does that resonate with you? Can you hear me, Cynthia?
Cynthia is writing.
Don't worry, you get the recording. Does that sound like you, Cynthia?
Yes, I'll put 4 because I'm still in the process learning.
I know, don't.
I'll put 4 and 10.
You said, sorry, I didn't say that again.
4.
Oh, you put 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what would you say is missing?
What is missing is that I'm not that confident to give out the knowledge. So I'm still in the process.
No, we are talking.
Now,
Okay, let me correct that perception. Fast forward your mind to let's pretend and assume that you have all the knowledge already. Don't forget you have 1 year to live, for example. You have all the knowledge, you have the capacity, you're a pastor already. Let's just fast forward your mind to that. Okay? Are you with me, Cynthia? Fast forward your mind to that and then answer the question.
Yes, sir.
So then answer the question again. Don't limit yourself to say, oh, I'm still training. Forget about all that. Well, what
Okay, I'll put 7. On this case, of 7.
Scale 7. So that's right there. For now, I always use the concept for now. That right there for now serves as your purpose statement.
In New York.
That is your purpose.
Wow, neighbor is bad.
Okay? That is your purpose, Cynthia. Now, is that the entirety of your purpose? No. But as at today, as at now, as at the stage, at the phase that you are, that is your purpose calling. The effort, the intentionality, the investment, the effort, intentionality, and investment you give to this statement I just made to you will determine the evolution of your purpose, will determine the clarity and the opening up of this purpose into different dimensions. I hope that helps. And I hope that helps somebody else as well.
Yes, thank you.
Powerful.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome. Coach Delphine,
Yes, coach.
it's bedtime for me.
I know I mean, like you've done so much. You've
Bedtime.
done a lot. I just left it because I know it's not easy to have you. So I was just like, and this is a sign that the lesson was well digested. Like they understood it well. When people understand, you broke it down into very simple terms and made it easy for people to understand. That's why you may not even have questions. You've simplified purpose.
And there's so much to chew on.
Yes. Yeah, you have really broken down purpose to us in a way that I don't even know how to say thank you, but I know that you'll get feedback from them. Because one of the things I would need them to do is to carve out their purpose statement, just like you've led Cynthia to do now. They need to carve out that statement. Because a lot of the time, when you ask people, who are you? They get mixed up, they are confused, they start saying what they do.
I'm
So
sure.
you kind of made it clear this evening. And I believe that people will be able to come out with their purpose statements.